Just gonna take a quick stroll through the ship here.
Hi, Jesse.
You can. Is this gonna happen the whole time?
Yeah.
Hey, how are you?
Yeah.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, yeah. So, did you know who that was?
No.
It's Courtney from HGTV.
I mean, yes. Hey, everybody! As promised, here I am, Allan Brooks, Director of Celebrity Cruises in Canada. First of all, thanks very much for having us down here.
Of course.
We really appreciate it. And the last 2 nights were incredible. The ship is spectacular. We can talk about that. But I did an introductory before saying how we're going to start doing this episodic adventure with Babbling Brooks, as we're calling it, on a monthly basis. So this is a great way to kick it off.
Did we talk about where it came from?
Yeah, I did mention it, where it came from, because it is insane that you were on board ships for 10
12 years almost.
12 years.
Almost 13, actually, closer to that. So
and you did this show every day.
Yeah. It was on those large ships, and you just couldn't talk to 6,000 guests. So we said, what's the best way to communicate? And so this is
insane.
Yeah,
insane.
It's a lot of fun.
So I want to learn a lot more about that as well. We can talk about the entertainment, stuff like that. We'll tour around the ship too. But we're here in the Eden restaurant, and it's like the Garden of Eden almost. It's almost greenery everywhere. Great restaurant. They're preparing for the day's events in the background here with us. But it sort of blends into, I think, the sustainability efforts of the cruise lines. And when we were listening the other day to the exec leadership in the forum that we had, they talked about the initiatives that are underway, and it is really impressive. Right? So why don't you just tell us a bit about that? Because it seems like that's something that's really hitting the hearts of cruisers.
Yeah, it's always been really important. I've been with the company for going on 25 years, and it's always been something that's part of it, whether it was part of the onboard process as a crew member or part of the operations team in Miami. It's always something that's been there, but not something we've talked enough about. So it's definitely something with my team and myself in Canada. We want to kind of really bring it to the forefront now, because we know a lot of our mutual guests look for that when they travel. They're kind of like, if you're responsible and how you're doing this, but Save the Waves has always been there. The Edge series is really the epitome of that, because of the design of the hull and how more efficient it is and less fuel we use. Alternate fuels, the paint we use on the hull is more streamlined, so less resistance.
Tell us a little bit about that if you can, because that is something that you'd never think that granular, the paint.
I know.
Creates that much of a difference.
It's, everything from the windows and how reflective they are, so we're losing less energy to cool the ship or heat the ship, depending where we are. But you think about every touch point on the ship, whether it's getting the water for potable water and how we recycle that, how the waste control, where we're getting our fuel. Like I said, the alternative fuels. These ships are now designed, especially the Ascent, to have more space in the engine rooms for future new sources of energy. Wow. So. They're thinking way ahead, net zero by 2050. We're going to have the first in our fleet in the company by 2025 a net zero ship. So
by 2025?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
remarkable.
We hope to have the entire fleet. That's the goal by 2050 to be net zero. And we're definitely getting there, if not before. It's just, it's always talked about internally. It is something we do want to bring to the forefront more. It's more than just recycling cans and what we do with food waste and everything else like that. So it's if you actually Google Sustainability, SEA Sustainability, it brings up our whole website really in depth about what we do in sourcing food and not just fuels. Obviously, it's the human fuel. That's not a very romantic way to put it, I guess. The human fuel.
I think.
The culinary brand. We have amazing human fuel.
The culinary brand.
But yes, it goes really in depth about the ports of call we visit around the world and sort of how we support that. Galapagos, I mentioned this on a recent webinar as well, that we had over 55,000 trees planted there by our guests.
Wow.
So it's just little things, but if you look at it as a whole, it's everything we do is surrounding.
What's the name of that? What's the URL for that site again?
Sustainability.
Okay.
If you can Google it, it's also on Cruising Power or Celebrity Commitment. Sorry.
Okay.
You can find it through that. Tons of information if you're looking for more. But any of my team, all of your sales representatives have information on this. We have presentations on it. So if it's something you want to pass on to your clients, it's huge.
Now back to your cruising days. I'm sure there wasn't too much partying going on those ships back in those days. Nothing.
Serious.
No, very serious. It's a serious business. But Yeah. Anyways, I'm not buying that. Nobody else is buying that either. But it sort of blends into just the overall sociability of the crew and the team that's involved.
Yeah.
I mean, it is remarkable that the crew on board these ships are so welcoming, so engaging. They all seem so happy, which is fantastic. And a lot of it, this is more my next point about the food and the culinary experiences on board. And then literally, I'm not kidding when I say this, the two exec chefs were just down here 15, 20 minutes ago, and they were literally running through the sauce. I swear, and I'll go over there and ask them if you don't believe me, smelling the wine so it had enough citrus in it
really?
for the sauces they were preparing. I'm not kidding you.
Detail.
So I mean, you know, and that's the real deal. So, but the culinary experiences that are on board on the seas in general, particularly obviously with the celebrity, but the food experience is just remarkable. It's like going to any global major city in the world, and you can, I mean, here you can just hop between restaurants and restaurants. Blue, you know, the Eden restaurant. So just tell us a bit about how important the culinary experiences are now, and what the, you know, for the life of me, I can't believe people just don't prepay or buy the dining experiences, because it's just, so just talk a bit about that, because it really takes you to a different level.
And again, this class of ship, when the Edge came out now 5 years ago, wow. With the main dining room, even just to start there, it's kind of like that is our, you know, your basic, which is hard to say basic with that, because we went from the large dining space, the traditional dining spaces with, you know, main and second seating, and then we brought in kind of that flex dining where you kind of go in at it in a window of time, so you're not rushed to get there at 6 or 8:30. But having the 4 sort of compartmentalized dining rooms now, the themed restaurants where they have their own dedicated menus. There's still kind of the main dining room menu, but these 4 restaurants that we have are basically specialty restaurants in themselves, but that's obviously included in the cruise cost. So you talk about Eden. This is very locally sourced, and how the presentations, it goes on and on. The Fine Cut is our steakhouse. Raw and 5, sushi, and kind of an Asian fusion type of feel there. Rooftop terrace, so you can be outside for it. So it's, I mean,
it's spectacular.
The options
the sunset bar in the back
endless.
is spectacular there.
And then Blue you mentioned, so that's for our Aqua Suites, which I think, well, I know a lot of guests sail in Aqua Suites because of that restaurant.
Is that
because
right?
It's a healthy alternative. You know, lighter sauces we were mentioning and stuff like that. I mean, it's endless. The options of where you can go and dine. There's cafes around. We have a cafe upstairs here in Eden that a lot of people don't know we have. It's for breakfast and lunch, and it's a great spot. So yeah, I mean, it's all about options and quality. We talk about the crew a lot, and having been an ex-crew member, I'm still kind of look at, especially our food and beverage department, and how they can do this so well, so consistently, so professionally, week after week. And we know it's competitive.
And with a smile on their face. Like truly enjoying what they're doing. You know?
There's a lot of pride in what they do because of, you know, there's obviously a hierarchy within the food and beverage department. And so you have mentors through that as you work your way through the ranks and different positions. And once you get, like, as a waiter or server in a specialty restaurant, that's a step up. So you get special training for it, and you learn a lot about the menu. So it's not just, oh, I don't know, here it is, and good luck.
No, they know. It's crazy.
Dietary restrictions and allergies are always a big part of that. We know for our guests, gluten-free and, you know, vegan options. It's just now, like, I know for some of the other brands, that's kind of like a nice to have, whereas us, it's kind of like, it is part of who we are now. It's not something just we do. So
So I also want to talk to about the entertainment on board the ship, but I think the best thing for us to do is we should go upstairs and take a look around. I wouldn't mind revisiting, because I was in the retreat lounge earlier. But just take a quick look at that. Continue our conversation up there, and then just have a walk around. And talk about things. If that's all good with you. So we'll be right back. We'll literally, well, you won't know the difference. It'll be a quick edit, but we're going to go and take a look. All right, great. Right, here we are. We've moved up into the retreat lounge. And we just came up from the Eden restaurant lounge downstairs. That place is spectacular. But you know, tell us about the public spaces that are available on the ship, because it really is. I mean, I know that there's more. They've added the way they design the ship. They've added more by percentage.
This ship actually is a little bit bigger than Beyond. They're I mean, for all intents and purposes.
Yeah, Beyond bigger. Yeah.
It's Ascent is actually a little bit bigger, and the reason we did that, and I mentioned a little bit about sustainability, where a space went to the engine room, but obviously not guest areas. But you'll see it in the Grand Plaza, which is another. It's kind of the heart of the ship. That's our martini bar. If you sailed with us before on any one of the ships we have in our fleet, that's kind of like the heartbeat of the ship, and that's a big one. There's all of our specialty restaurants. There's live music, our silent disco. They do Latin parties, all these great things. So a lot of big events happen there because it's like 4 decks high, and so much is happening off of that. World-class bars in addition that we put on these ships. That's just off of there as well. The casinos there, the shops. So it's kind of like this really, like I said, the heartbeat of the ship. So that's a big one. Eden, where we just were, I think is also a great place. It's so transformative, that space, whether you're going in the morning for a quick breakfast and maybe reading a book in the afternoon. There's always little pop-up moments that happen with our entertainment team. And then in the evening, all that glass that envelops Eden turns into mirrors, basically. So all that becomes like reflective for the lighting, for all theatricals, and so really transformative space. And then the pool deck, I think, is.
We should when we finish up here, we'll take a walk around.
Yeah,
maybe show
great
us
idea.
Some of the stuff.
Yeah.
But tell us a bit about the entertainment, because it's something that you're shouting from the rooftops, right? Tell us a bit
and you
about that.
immediately felt it. We do a great job of it in the rest of the fleet, but they are really elevating it. It's become really one of our main pillars now of focus for the brand, which I think you see immediately when you get on the ship. Always love live music. Having been an ex-cruise director, I was really close to my heart, obviously, the entertainment. But live music is something that I found that people ask me, what do you miss most about ships? And it's that. I think you just can walk into any venue. There's a soloist, there's a band playing, those types of things. So the main shows in the theater, all brand new for this ship as well. So they're doing that for pretty much the entire fleet. They're starting to revamp, and all this stuff that comes out with a new ship will roll out to the rest of the fleet. So it's very cool. There's curling. We have curling, jumping around.
There's curling?
Yeah. There's like this. So it's like a dry ice, not dry ice. It's like a
like this,
like a slidey. But it's like
massive.
Wow. A lot of technology in the club. So the club's kind of our rec room, we call it. So throughout the day, there's different activities happening. But the cool thing I don't want to forget is that 2 of the companies we work with for entertainment are Canadian. Moment Factory and Set Droit out of Montreal are Canadian. So we have like the main theater shows with the singers and dancers, but there's also an Eden cast that does these little vignette kind of theme parties. Super cool. Super cool, kind of speakeasy feel to them, and those types of things. We have a brand new pool party on this ship that'll roll out to the rest of the fleet. Shine the Night, it's called. So if you are going to sail, bring your sequins, jackets, and dresses, ladies.
I don't have any.
I don't know how
I
people
have a
pack
North Face. I have a Columbia, the reflective Columbia jerseys where they have the silver on the inside to keep you warmer.
Might be a little warm.
But I take that and I wear it inside out. And then I get Okay, so we're going to go have a quick walk around. While we're en route, I want you to think of, and I'm sure you've been asked this question before, the craziest thing you saw happen in your cruise director's day. No names mentioned. Something that was just like, off the chart.
I'm just going through the old Rolodex here.
Keep thinking about it. You have 10 years to file through. Think about that. We're going to go outside and have a walk around and go check out some of the public spaces that we've been talking about.
Awesome.
Okay, great. So, Alan.
Yes.
Just going to take a quick stroll through the ship here.
Hi, Jesse.
You can. Is this going to happen the whole time?
Hey, how are you? Hi, how are you? Well, we have a ton of agents on and team members. Hello. That was Courtney from HGTV, right? We're doing it for Canada. We're filming for Canada. She's got to get on, John.
Oh.
I'm Canada.
Hello.
Okay, are we gonna party for the next?
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Awesome.
You're on.
Take care of your liver.
Enjoy. So, did you know who that was?
No.
It's Courtney from HGTV.
Yes.
HGTV.
Yeah, of course
she
I knew.
The show. It's awesome, and I can't think of the name of it right now.
Of course I knew Courtney.
Everyone's yelling at the screen right now.
Of course, everybody knows Courtney.
The show.
It's the show.
They do like the revamps of the tanks. That's what we're talking about.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Home improvement kind of thing.
I'll double check.
Like the Property Brothers.
Anyway, so this is back to our public spaces here. And there's Chad over there.
Chad and Sandra from Team Canada.
Team Canada saying hello from the beautiful brothers.
Yes, I know. I knew this was going to go like this, Just talking about the public spaces.
So yeah, so we just walked by Future Cruise, which I know for a lot of our agents, it's a hot spot because you can get your cruise now, cruise later bookings, and our shore excursion and the iPhoto. So what we were talking about, John, before is the Grand Plaza being the heartbeat of the ship, and we're just about to come into it right now. It's always hard to sort of capture the energy of a ship and the personality of a ship, but if we were, this is the spot that.
Well, if you stay with me, we'll do a 360 view here. Yeah, that certainly gives you a certain vibe of the space, doesn't it? That's for sure.
It's amazing.
Yeah, look at the back. That's beautiful back there. This is
and they
great.
actually just put up our holiday decorations, and so it really is another little layer. But yeah, so live music here, theme parties, martini bar with the bar flair tenders, and then everything that happens off of this with the Cafe Al Baccio and our craft social bar. We have our own celebrity bourbons now we got made, special.
Wow, really?
So yeah.
Well, I know the wines. The wines are quite good.
Yeah, all for our brand specifically. But Fine Cut Restaurant I mentioned, Le Petit Chef, which is our sort of animation dining experience.
That's
is also
the
there.
Petit Chef, the
little guy.
Yeah.
And so that's all here. So it's really cool. And of course, Le Voyage is back there. That's our.
Do you want to head up to the pool?
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
Okay, let's
we got sidetracked.
Okay. So we've moved up top deck here. We're just continue to explore these phenomenal public spaces that we were talking about.
So I didn't mention this one actually, which is another massive part of the ship and a sort of a new addition for our Edge series ship. So this is a rooftop.
Yeah.
You name it happens up here. We have everything from movies under the stars. We have live music up here. We have games. The ever popular pickleball happens right here.
The ever popular pickleball.
Taking over the world. And then if this is another specialty dining, the rooftop garden grill.
Yeah.
So again, if you sailed on Edge or Apex, this is a little bit different configuration, a little bit more space up here. They put wind blockers, so it's a little bit easier when we're sailing if you're dining. Yeah. And obviously beautiful sunshine here.
It is remarkable. I mean, the amount of open space.
Yeah.
This is what's so cool about these class of ships is they've got these little pockets of areas where you can just go and hang out, and there's not a it's not like there's a lack of availability either. For members. Like you wander around, you feel like, how am I ever going to get a space there?
Yeah.
But they really are. They really lots of availability.
I mean, it's a big ship, but it really has that yacht feel to it, because to your point that you can find so many little nooks and crannies on the ship to find a space to relax or read or just hang out. The cool thing about this ship too is that for the tonnage it is, I mean, we hold a lot less guests than a normal ship of this size. So lots of public spaces. It's not just your stateroom because you don't spend a lot of time in there. That's why a lot of options. It's all about options, this ship.
And it's 3,800 passengers, right?
We're 3,200 on
3,200 passengers, max.
Yeah, maxed out.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Now, lastly, since we're up here in the glorious sunshine, looking under the big X here,
it's bright.
How important are travel advisors to celebrity overall, but particularly in Canada?
Yeah, I mean, it's we rely heavily. We have great partnerships. I've come back to Canada now 4 years into it. Obviously, I've gone through a lot. with the pause and everything else, however you want to call it. Resiliency is a great word I describe it to. Loyalty, collaboration. It's how we do our business. It's different from the U.S. and Canada, and I've seen those. Having grown up as a Canadian in Canada and then spent time in the U.S. and on board. We rely heavily on our trade partners for sure. Yeah. I mean, they have great relationships with their clients. We have a great relationship with them. And so with our mutual clients, and be able to offer this product, the Edge series ship, is just phenomenal. And then of course Excel comes out in 18 months too. So we can celebrate
one more
time. One more of this class of ships.
Okay. So you've had enough time, I think probably about 11 minutes.
Oh, right.
To think about, to think about the most bizarre or crazy thing you saw as a cruise director. And honestly, I know there's probably like 8,000 of them. Yeah. But any one in particular that was
one that stands out, I did think about it. One that stands out, I was in the theater, a full theater of like 22,000 guests or something like that. And I was on stage about to open a show, and there was a bit of a disruption. I couldn't see because of lights on me, the spotlights. And I could hear disruption happening, and then it got closer and closer as the crowd was reacting to something. So I knew something was up, but I was trying to ignore it because, And all of a sudden, this guy who was, I found out later, was a 21-year-old guy, came running through, streaking through because he had just won like 20K in the casino and decided just to strip down and run through. So it was almost like a Benny Hill kind of situation where he ran down and then our like 4 security officers were running
Chasing
after him.
him?
So I wish our sound guy put the music. Dun, 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 dun. But that always stood out. It's always a fun story.
And you were on stage competing with that. Did you rip your shirt off just to?
No,
Yeah.
he was. I think he was tackled at some point. But,
Even
it's
that's
always
a
one
bad
of those
visual.
moments.
Tackling a 21-year-old bacon.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right.
Lots
Listen,
of
we're gonna let
stories.
you go. We're gonna come back later on when we've got the naming ceremonies going
Okay.
on. We're gonna shoot that and see that exciting part of the day. Thanks very much.
I
for
hope it
having us
gets
down.
brighter. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. It's a pleasure. Yeah.
Hope
So,
it gets brighter.
Yeah. First of many Babbling Brooks. So excited to do it with
Yeah.
you, and it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're gonna have a blast doing it. Thanks for watching, everybody. We hope you enjoyed this, and look forward to seeing you soon out on the road, out and about, and with more Babbling Brooks coming in January.
Oh yes, the next
Yeah,
episode.
this will be December.
Right around the
Thanks very
corner.
much, everybody. We'll see you soon.
Thank
Thanks.
you.